The thing we've all been told 100 times is if you want to become a great golfer, it takes hours and hours and hours of practice, but not all of us have that. I play this game full time, so I do, but I know a lot of people don't, which is why I've decided to synthesize my practice routine down into 1 hour so everybody can follow it. If you want to be better, this hour-long practice routine will help you. Make sure to throw a like on this video. It helps us out a ton. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. We do a lot of game improvement stuff here. I play a lot of tournaments. If you want to see the behind the scenes of tournament golf, let's get into it. The reason I like to start with the range, especially if we only have 1 hour, is because putting is also an athletic activity. If you're not hitting putts warmed up, you're not hitting putts the way that you would be on the golf course. So we're gonna warm up here first and then make our way to the putting green. And let's get this timer started now. We got 30 minutes in the range starting right now. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hit 5 wedges without thinking about anything. Now, the reason we start with those 5 wedges, we want to stay as close to no thoughts, turn as possible. So that's why we start out with that. I'm going to check the date here. It is the 30th. That is an even day, which means we are going to be hitting even clubs. Sand wedge for me is an even club. I consider this a 12. Pitching wedge is 10, 8 iron, 6 iron, 4 iron, and then the tee balls. And we're going to hit 3 balls with each club there. But here we'll go through a routine. It doesn't have to be a long routine for me. I just like to check my alignment here. Pick my point in front of the ball, line up to that, see my target. Big part of the routine is visualizing the shot you want to hit. Okay, so take a second, see the shot. Let's say I want to hit a nice low cut here, and oh no, it's like a mid-height draw. Why can't I hit the low cut? That's when you can start with your mechanical exploration. But if you're not having issues with that, if you're just hitting the shots you want to hit and you're pulling it off, then great, keep on going. We've hit 3 shots with this 54 degree, this is our 12. But guys, real quick, we have a giveaway. Vessel is sponsoring this video, so we are giving away a custom Vessel Player 5 Pro Always Press golf bag. Bet on you in the luggage pocket. But that's not all. Because Vessel is sponsoring today's video, for the next 5 days, we will have the promo code BHGolf for 15% off anything on the Vessel site. Only 5 days, BH Golf. Link is down in the description of this video. Thank you to Vessel for sponsoring the channel. We're gonna move on to our 10, and we're gonna hit 3 shots here as well. So a really important thing, and actually the other day I gave a lesson to Xander DeMar, shout out to Xander. Gave him a little bit of help in his golf swing, and what I found is his 2 feet never left here. He just kept raking balls over and hitting balls. So what we did is we put a towel behind him, and I said between every single golf ball, both feet have to be on this towel at one time. So if that helps you, put a towel behind, and every time put both feet on the towel, and chances are if you're walking back here to put both feet on the towel, you're probably just gonna go through your routine anyway. So that's a pretty good help to make sure you don't get too quick. I know we only got an hour, but we don't want to waste that time by just rapid fire Gatling gunning machine balls out there. And so far, I'm hitting it pretty good. So I'm not going to think about mechanics. I'm just going to try to hit the shots I want to hit. And the nice thing about that is when you're on the golf course, you want to practice the way you'd want to play, right? And if you're on the golf course, I really hope you're not just focusing on mechanics, instead focusing on hitting the shot you want to hit. So there's 3 with the pitching wedge. We can move on to the 8 iron. And you know, a buddy of mine, James Nicholas, actually, I'm gonna steal this from him. What he likes to do is take balls out before he starts hitting balls. So I got 8 iron, 6 iron, 4 iron left. So I've got my 8 iron balls here, my 6 iron balls, my 4 iron, and then not to skip ahead, but we do have our tee shot clubs to hit. So we'll go 2 iron, mini driver. And I like to hit 5 with the tee ball clubs because those tend to be the ones we hit the most. And then 5 with the driver. Okay, so now we can visualize this is how many balls we have left in this session. This doesn't look like a lot, and it's not, which is why I think it's especially important to stand back here, get both feet on the towel, and make sure every rep is as good as it can be. So right there, that was a bit of a pull for where I wanted to go. So I'm gonna run through my checklist in my head. Okay, if it's a pull, what did I feel in that swing? And in my body, I felt like I didn't quite get a full enough turn this way. Club was kind of in front of me, came across, pulled it a bit. So on this one, standing behind the ball, feel a bit more of a turn in this direction. Feel that, visualize the shot, and then we're gonna step in, and without feeling mechanics, just feel the thing that we internalize back here, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Jalen? That was much, much better. So now we found our swing key for the day. The longer the club gets, the more we got to turn. Okay, onto the 6-iron. And the longer the clubs get, the more pronounced the things you got to work on are going to be. So don't be surprised if you hit every shot perfect up until the 6-iron and then you start to see issues. That's a good thing. And I did mention before, hit shots. So we're just hitting cuts here over and over again on repeat. That's the 6-iron. Now we're moving on to the 4. So far we're hitting it pretty solid. This is a great range session thus far. We're on to the 4-iron. We're 12 minutes in and I've gone through full routine on every single golf shot. Okay, so that one's a little heavy. All right, that'll do. There's the 4-iron. Now we're moving on to the 2. And I'll tell you what, I went on the road without a groove it brush, my hit brush, and I'm missing it big time right now. My grooves have not been quite the same. That was really good. That was one of those you file away in the memory bank. And something Scott talks about a lot is the importance of when you hit a good golf shot, feel it. Stop for a second, hold your follow through, feel what that motion felt like. That was a good shot. I sat there, held the follow through for just an extra couple seconds. Now we're gonna try to repeat it right here. And about a 15-yard pull there, but with a 2-iron, I'm not super unhappy with that. Just try to get a slightly bigger turn on this one. Feel that bigger turn. There's the feel. Now we're gonna internalize that with the shot shape we wanna hit. And that right there was another really good one. So we held that follow through, watched it till the end. Now we're moving on to the tee shots. I'm gonna pick a fairway. For me, I like seeing barriers, so we're gonna go white stake over to that big tree. And our goal here is to center our shot pattern on that bag caddy. That was about 2 yards left of the target. That was really good. That was good stuff. Also, I wanna give a big shout out to Fiddler's Elbow for having us out today. Sweet logo these guys got. Look at that. I need to go in and ask why they call it Fiddler's Elbow because I'm extremely curious. By the way, the towel we're standing on, alwayspress.golf, if you want to go check that out. The hat that I'm wearing, alwayspress.golf. Just got some new designs in. Really excited about them. Two-tone hats. Got the little what do you call this? What's this thing called? The little bean. Little bean up top matches the bill. I think it's cool. I like these hats. The bill also matches the snapback on the back. It's a 100% cotton hat, which for me, that's just the vibe, you know, that's the style. Cotton is overlooked as a material. That one was directly on our target. This isn't incredibly normal for me. I'll be honest, I think I've missed 1 or 2 golf shots this entire range session so far. This is exciting, this is good stuff. It also shows the power of just staying active, staying moving, focusing on what you're doing. There we go, we jinxed it. Brilliant, okay. There's the minis. Now on to the big drivers. So far we've been here for 22 minutes and I've been talking through it pretty aggressively. I feel pretty confident that this is a routine that you should be able to get through in an hour if you stay focused. And again, just especially on tee shots, visualization is huge because this is a long club. It's a lot of speed. Ball's going a long way without a ton of spin to straighten it out. I'm going to switch out the alignment stick just a little bit here. So usually if I have a face issue, it's because I'm swinging too much. If I get the club too far behind me and I start to throw it, that's when I lose control of the face. If you watch the video with Randy and I, this right here, where I feel like this right leg stays stable, club stays in front of me, this from here, I can be an athlete and hit the ball the way I want to. Okay, one more driver and then we are done with our set number of shots. So now that we're done on the range, our body's warmed up. let's head over to the putting green where we can continue to be an athlete, continue to be reactionary, and a part of the game where I would argue it's even more important to be reactionary. We are at the putting green, which means we have 20 minutes. We're gonna start that timer right now. We gotta find a flat putt. I'm gonna show you a really easy way to do it. We're gonna find a downhill putt here, and we hit just a bunch of balls at this hole. As long as they don't go in, darn it, hit it close to the hole, but don't make it, okay? Too much speed, close to the hole, don't make it. There we go. There we go, close to the hole, don't make it. And you'll see all the balls are gonna collect in one area there. That is what we call the fall line. And from here, I can roll balls, and I'm gonna see that this is a flat uphill putt. Now I can tell because it's breaking in opposite directions when I miss it on either side of the hole. So this is our point. This is the fall line. That's where we're gonna hit our putts from. And we are going to get set up perfect on one putt right here. Okay, and the way we do that is get the eyes directly above the ball. How do we know that without a level? Put one over your right eye, and that fell on the back of my putter. Okay, so now where we are standing is perfect. I'm going to mark both of my feet. I'm going to mark where the putter is. You don't really need to do it on an hour-long practice routine like this if you're only hitting 15 putts, but I've had a million people ask me this question, so I'm gonna address this right now. This is to make sure we don't leave nasty little dents in the green. So what we're gonna do is just hit 15 perfect putts, perfect setup, eyes over the ball. And the nice thing about uphill putts is it's a little bit more precise than the average putt. You see, I couldn't miss a downhill putt on purpose. And that's because on downhill putts, everything rolls towards the hole. If it's an uphill putt, everything rolls away from the hole. That's why it's called the fall line. See that? I pushed that just a little bit. This is now a very precise putt. So if you're making a bunch of uphill putts in a row, pat yourself on the back. That's not easy. I like to make 15 of them. Shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. You know, this here, you're totally fine. This is just grooving the stroke. Stay in one place. Now that we've dialed in line, we're gonna work on speed, and speed's the most important part. We spent 5 minutes on that. Now we're gonna spend 10 minutes working on speed. And a really quick way to work on speed, and the best way to work on speed, is by using the collar of the green. Find a relatively straight putt. This is a pretty undulating green, so we're not gonna find a super straight putt, but the collar is gonna act as your backboard. 1 foot from the collar, put down a ball marker. Again, thank you to Fiddler's Elbow for having us out. But now we have down 1, 2, 3, essentially 4 markers with the fringe behind you. So from 5 to 10 feet, we're hitting it here. From 10 to 20 feet, we're hitting it here. And from 20 to 30 feet, we're hitting it here. Normally, if I were doing this for a long time, I'd put down markers at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet. But for now, we're gonna do this the fast way, okay? We're gonna go to 5 feet, 4, 5. We're gonna drop one here, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're working on 5 to 8 footers here. So that's from 5. Now we'll go to 10. We'll hit 4 putts there. 1, 2, 3, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10. Each pace is 3 feet. So we got 10, 11, 12, 13. And these will all go between the first and the third marker. I think it's important also to hear in your head, like, that was a 13-foot putt that I hit with perfect pace. Okay, so we're gonna start at 20, 6 paces and 2 feet, 20, 21, 22, 23, and these will go between the first marker and the edge of the fringe. And if you got a little more time, like, we're kind of just breezing through this right now, but if you wanna go to 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, and do 4 balls at each one of those markers, then great. We're just kind of showing you guys how this works though. So this is 20 feet between the first and the fringe. Okay. That's 22 feet. And this is 23 feet. That would have been good, right? So now we'll go out to 30 feet and we'll do 30, 31, 32, 33. 10 paces. And this isn't exact, but the nice thing is the unit of measurement that you're using, your paces, is exactly what you're going to use in the course. So even if it's not accurate, it's accurate to you. 30, 31, 32. Should probably tie my shoes at this point, right? First in the fringe. Another good way to dial it in, Scott does this. I try to do it like internally. I end up doing it either way. If you say out loud, hit long or short, so hit's right, long is long, obviously short's not going to get there. If you say it right off the face, it's another good way to help you dial in your feel. So we'll start doing it here. Yep, 32. Generally, the rule is if you say you're going to hit it and you don't, you got to go back and hit that putt again. Hold yourself accountable if you want. After we worked on speed, we'll do this for about 10 minutes. The next thing I like to do is work on read. Now, what is read? Read is matching up the line and the speed to the putt that you want to hit. So we've already worked on line for 5 minutes. We worked on speed for 10 minutes. Now we got to marry the two and work on read. And a really good way to do this, I think, is just by picking putts. And we're going to pick 18 inches past the hole. For me, I know that's right about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 21 footer. And the way I see this putt rolling, you see what that alignment stick is? If this putt rolls past the hole, I want it to roll into that alignment stick at 90 degrees that far past the hole. And I think 2 balls here is great because it allows you to learn a little bit. And that's all great putting is being coachable. And the green's trying to teach you. Just got to hit the same line with a little more speed. Okay? And that's perfect speed. And the more perfect putts you hit, the more putts you're going to make. Makes sense, right? Wonderful. That'll do. We'll try that again. And that's going to be just a little short. Yep. Knowing that it's going to be short is just as good as hitting a good putt because you're dialing it in. We're just here practicing. If you know you made the mistake, then you can adjust. But if you hit the putt and you're like, oh, that's so good, and then it comes up 3 feet short, that's when you need to worry. And that's what I do every time. We'll roll these balls out, watch how they roll. Okay, now from there, 18 inches past, this is a pretty straight uphill putt, so we'll just put this right here. Hammered it. Way too far past, okay. And perfect speed. Muy bien. Let's move on to chipping. Last part, we got 10 minutes on chipping. We're just gonna make sure we get our carry distances dialed and we learn the rollouts on the greens. We're on the chipping green. We're gonna do a couple drills real quick. Since there's someone practicing, we're gonna do this here, but if you happen to have a chipping green to yourself, you can do this onto the green and get rollouts at the same time, but since we don't, we're just gonna get the gist of the 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 drill. I wish there was a better way to do it. We'll call this carry distances. 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. So these are our carry numbers. Thank you again to Fiddler's Elbow for hosting us today. This is a fantastic practice facility, but I do feel like we've done a pretty solid job of giving you drills that you don't need to be at a top tier facility for, even though this is one of those. And in this one, you can do in your yard if you want to. All you need is golf balls. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna carry it to each one of these yardages. And we're gonna go down. Oh, and if you don't hit it, just hit it again. It's okay. 5, 7, 9, and this one's 11. Oh, 11, 13, bink, that'll do, and 15. A little short, we'll hit one more there, and 15. Short, and 15. Okay, now you can do that up and down the row a few times. Short game should be see and feel, okay? So we're gonna hit up and down this ladder a few times. We'll call this the ladder drill if you want, the short game ladder carry drill. And if you can work up and down this a few times, now you've got your carry distances dialed in. We'll spend 5 minutes on this. We'll take 5, 6 balls, go around the green, hitting some chip shots, if there's a chipping green. If not, honestly, you could do that for 10 minutes. It's a great way to work on your chipping. But if you're able to do that and then go to a chipping green and get an idea of how chips are releasing, really, you just got to hit like 4 or 5. Get an idea of how they're releasing. Just getting an idea of how these chips are reacting on the green. We'll hit one a little lower this time. See how it releases. Watch the ball until it stops. I find that to be pretty important. And connect that to the shot that you hit. And you'll start dialing it in a little bit better. Knowing like scientifically this is going to land here and release exactly this far, I don't think is a great way to go about short game. Short game is still feel. So knowing your carry numbers is great. That's what you can control. The rollout you can't. The rollout you have to judge. Same with a couple chips out of the rough. Just 1 or 2 is totally fine. But get an idea of how, 1, how the ball comes out of the rough, and 2, how it reacts when it hits the green. Okay, great. Now the last thing, we're gonna hit 5 bunker shots, which I'm gonna guarantee is 5 more than a lot of you guys do when you practice. So who is this 1 hour practice routine for? You can do this as a warm-up for a tournament. I would recommend it. This is what I do as my warm-up for a tournament pretty much every time I play and I have enough time and I have the resources to be able to do so. You can do this after work. If you get off at 5, sun goes down at 7, this is perfect for you. Commute to the course, do the routine, go home. You want to get a good amount of work in without having a ton of time necessarily to work with. This is a great way to do it. And again, we're not talking about technique at all here. That's not for this video. This is just what you want to spend your time on. Ricochet. That counts, right? Hit a couple high shots here. And if you guys want to hear any more, like if you want to see a video that's just specifically on my favorite putting drills, my favorite short game drills, my favorite games to play on the range, we can always do that. If you want to see specific like fun drills, go check out my Instagram. There's a few there. A couple accounts I recommend for some really good short game drills. Frederick Lindblom, Hannah Gregg, Short Game Gains, really good stuff. Follow Scott Fawcett. He's got great tips on how to practice effectively. Check out Decade, BH Golf for 30% off. I know we said this is strictly just, this routine was all just golf clubs, alignment sticks, tees, and towels. But if you want to take your game to the next level, Decade truly is the best way to do it if you want to improve the way you play golf, which is why we're here, right? BH Golf for 30% off of that. I guarantee you, if you get Decade, you apply the content, and you put in the work, your scores will lower. I'm 100% sure of that. Oh yeah. Woo! Let this one have a footprint. This will be how we finish the video. 30-yard bunker shot out of a footprint. I'm going to hold this. If I hold this, you guys have to subscribe to the channel. And there we go. That's the end of the timer and the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is a lot of fun. I love doing videos like this. I feel like, you know, I play a lot of golf, I practice a lot. I feel like I've got this stuff pretty well dialed in. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. I'd be happy to answer them. Try to read most of the comments and subscribe to the channel. AlwaysPress.golf, go check it out. New hats in stock, towels, all kinds of fun stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one.